Hi, Tombs and Temples here. Haven't made a video in a while, so let's do a little one. Yeah, I'm just at a spot that I've been to before. I've been busy. Sure, everyone's busy. But I think about it a lot. Think about making videos and stuff. Mostly watch videos. I watch a lot of videos. And I have my favorite guys. Martin Liedke and stuff, and then I've got some rockhounding videos I really like too. But I don't know. I've been busy. I'm a full-time chef also, and I don't know. Life is good. I'm thinking about moving again. I'm one of those people who's moved around a lot, kind of a nomad. I'm back in Florida, and I'm enjoying Florida a lot more this time around because of my newfound hobby. But I've lived in a few other states that, I'm kicking myself. This is a new thing to me, my obsession with rocks. And it is a full-on obsession. I mean, I was literally told by my bosses, I kind of walk around town looking like a crackhead, digging in construction sites and whatnot. And I was literally told not to do that anymore. And that was kind of, I didn't like the way that came about. Because, there's not a lot that makes me happy in life anymore. What makes me happy is rocks. And my son. Obviously, my son comes first. He's everything to me. I got a cool video coming up. He and I are taking the day tomorrow to go to the famous Peace River. I've been before, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think he is too. He loves it when we get out there, you know what I mean? But I gotta be careful not to overhype. I overhype things in life. And it's not me with the expectations, but you have a tendency to talk too much about something and it builds up their expectations, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm passionate about a lot of things in life. But man, this rock thing came on strong. I love it. And I've got some things in the works. I got a website's going that I'm working on. My Tumblr's always going. So I really have a lot of cool content I can make soon. And can and will make. I mean, I don't see this little obsession going away anytime soon. It brings me a lot of joy. I wish life was so easy. You could just, let's say you figure out you love to, I don't know, work with wood. You like making things with wood, carpentry and whatnot. And, but it's a hobby. Your full-time job is totally unrelated or whatever. But it's what you love to do. You should find out you love it. You start doing it on the side, and this one's pretty cool. And you love it. I wish you were easy. I think some people do live their lives like what I'm about to describe. But I wish it was just as easy as saying, oh, I'm now this guy. I'm a carpenter now. Or this woman. This is what I do. And I think that, I believe in a loving, caring, higher power, source, whatever you want to call it. I have no problem with the word God now. I used to. But not anymore. And so if that God exists, which I believe wholeheartedly in my heart, that God exists, then it's just a matter of finding out what you love to do and manifesting it, turning it into a way to make a living for you, or even make you wealthy, even, ideally. Because I wish it was different. There's no way around it. We need money in this world. I think this is a big part of why it's broken. This world revolves around money. And that's why it's evil in many ways, is the love of that money. But here's what it is, man. It's acceptance. Somebody's got a little rap thing going on driving by. It's old school, at least. So you know what I'm saying? So I believe that, and I also believe that there have been numerous civilizations before us, in different forms of technologically, and different types of technology. And I believe that many of them, if not all of them, I think we might be the only one that is basically a debt slave system. I think we've been hijacked by nefarious handful of elite that you don't even know their names. We don't know their names. They don't stay. They've got people out in front, faces out in front. You know, Bill Gates, Elon, all these people out in front. But they do not show themselves. And they might be families, it may be bloodlines, something like that. But this is apparent. This is almost impossible to argue with this. And they keep us in this locked in this paradigm with apparent choices, apparent dualities, you know, good and bad and left and right and all that crap. But that's all an illusion. There really aren't choices the way the system's set up. You need to have money to eat, to have shelter, to survive. And if you don't want to play that game, or you don't know how to, or you don't fit in. I mean, the homeless people on the streets, for the most part, these are not bad people at all. These are people who haven't figured out how to conform, or maybe they did, and just a couple of people just had bad streaks of bad luck. But the people I've talked to that are homeless, I mean, I could easily see a scenario where I could have been homeless. There's a man in my life very close to me. You know, my son called him Uncle. He was dating my mother-in-law, you know, for over a decade, and he just decided to start drinking. Maybe he had the problem. Look at this hole here. You know, in his mid-60s, which is, you know, you tell someone that who doesn't understand addiction, the disease model of addiction, which I have some issues with, but I do believe that once, like for people like me, you know, if I have a cycle that I go through, and if I put alcohol in my body right now, it would start this insane cycle. How do I know this? Because it's not a matter of willpower. It's a matter of, well, I think Jung had it correct. I think it was Jung came up with the idea that there's an allergic reaction. And that makes total sense to me. Like, if I look at it like that, like I'm allergic to alcohol. Man, I put that in me? Allergic reaction. My allergic reaction, you know, as a joke, you break out in handcuffs. I break out in obsessive compulsive behavior that makes that substance, that feeling it produces, supersede everything around me so badly that I will burn everything else around me. Like, nothing else kind of matters. And I've done this a couple times in my life. I've been clean and sober, all in all, more, you know, time-wise, year-wise, than I have been involved in that world. I've had other drugs in my life and story too. And basically, it's basically this simple. I have to stay away from it all. Like, I don't know what do one of them means, or do a couple. You know, something about it. It really is insanity, and that's talked about if you get into 12-step model and stuff like that. It's talked about it. It's the second step. But literally, I get that too. I literally become insane. I become a different person. Anyway, I didn't even want to talk about this, but you know, it's part of my life. And if you are someone like me, and you don't make it part of your life or part of pretty much every waking moment, it comes up in some way, in some form. And it's so prevalent in the world. I mean, and that's the other part of the place we live. Yeah, you got it based in debt, slavery-based system, right? And people we're slaves and don't even know it, right? Some people don't, but for the most part, they're just like, oh, this is the way it is. I go get a job, I go, pay someone to live somewhere. You pay everywhere. Everywhere you're paying. And it's breaking down. It's become unsustainable in that. I mean, it's sustaining slowly, but it's clearly breaking down. It's been breaking down like a slow breakdown, and now it's starting to, I think, ramp up. But I think the waking up part is that people know in their core. Like, so this is interesting because it's how it's connected for me. So my whole life, I know this by doing some work and soul searching and stuff like that. Look at this guy. Break that up. There's something in there. That's pretty nice. See, this is the problem in Florida. It's trying to agatize. Maybe it would if longer. I don't know. All right, focus. So, as a little boy, I knew right away that something was not right here, right? And by here, I mean the world, society. And I looked around. Listen, what I'm about to say, I couldn't put this in words. I had no idea what the hell this was. I've labeled it now, and I realize it now. These all clean up really pretty. So, I just knew something was off. I just knew in my gut. I'm like, this is not how things should be. Something's not right. This is broken. It's like you're in a video game, right? A 2D video game where, like a platformer. And you're forced to go right on the screen. You have to, right? And then even if you try to go backwards or try a different route, it's not capable of it. The game's not capable of that. It's not set up that way. Now we have 3D and stuff, and that gives more of the illusion. But even like a sandbox game, right? You can find the limits of Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim. Anyway, let me focus on what I'm saying. The long and short of it is, I've known since I could have thoughts and fantasize out in the woods by myself. I grew up in a lot of woods. And I was, out there by myself playing Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I knew that this was not, it was contrived. It was fake. It was made up. I didn't know how or why. I just knew that. And I just knew that we're set up to be limited. And I don't think God wants us limited. Matter of fact, I'll bet my life on it. God does not want us limited. And that the entities, creatures that are doing this to us, what do they get out of it? They get a lot out of it, but mainly control. But there's some kind of feeding off our energy and emotions and stuff like that also. But basically, I knew something was not right. I knew it in my core, my essence of every part of my body screaming, something's not right. And no one's talking about it. No one's acknowledging it. No one recognizes it. I think a lot of people recognize it. Let me back that up. Matter of fact, I'm sure of that. This might be... That is petrified wood, people. Look at that. It's fucking cool. Sorry for cursing. Look at that. Hear it? This is a nice piece of pet wood right here. There you go. And this will clean up beautifully. Look at that. Nice. All right, now I can go home. I'm not going home. I'm going to work. Yeah, I'm going to go. So let me just finish with the stock here. I knew something wasn't right, as I think you, person listening to me, probably did too, right? Now, the pain, frustration, all of that, as I started growing older, came from looking around me going, they're acting like everything's fine. I grew up in the 80s, you know. I was in 8th grade, 1984, which for some reason that year really sticks out for me. But, and there's a lot of great things about growing up in the 80s, believe me. But it was also very plastic, fake. Even though no internet and cell phones and all that, it was very fast-paced. I mean, you got those guys working on Wall Street, drugs all over the place. And thank God I wasn't 20 years old working on Wall Street. I would probably be dead. Well, I've never really been a stimulant guy. Anyway, I'm looking around. No one's talking about it. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I sound like an old man here, which I guess I am. I'm looking around me, right? About it. Everything's fine. Everything's A-okay. And it's not right. I knew it wasn't right. Of course nothing's okay. This is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And you know, I get the whole being a monk guy, you know? Taking off, dropping out. That's what they fed on in the 60s. I think the 60s was an interesting turning point because I'm pretty sure people, the whole generation knew it, right? They knew it, that something was wrong. And they tried to fight, although the whole thing about the 60s is a big, it was all planned. It was fake. It was staged from the beginning, right? There's no doubt about that. Yeah, you gotta be crazy not to realize that. The hippie movement, all that. I mean, the best way to give a snapshot of what was going on there is Jim Morrison's father was an admiral in the U.S. Navy and involved with the false flag operation, I think it was Operation Northwoods, that entered us into the Vietnam War. But if you could tell me what the Vietnam War was for, or any war was for, that's a whole other thing, man. Like, have you ever met anybody that wants war in your life? No. So we all don't want war. You know, it's all of us think about war and the suffering it causes, and the useless, mindless deaths of children and disruption of just destruction. Just destroy for the sake of destroying. No one wants that. Yet we're constantly in war. So that in itself should tell you what this place is about. It doesn't matter what you want, what I want. It's what the controllers want. It's what they want. And if you vote for Trump or you vote for Biden, it doesn't fucking matter. And I would listen, this is fairly new. I mean, I always felt this way, like I said, I'm talking about it as a little kid. But I believed Trump was different. I thought maybe it's something different. There's no difference. There's no difference. Start looking into Trump, Freemason, you know. There's no difference. They're all in the same boat. As George Carlin said, they're in a big club and you and I aren't in it. And most of these high people that act as the lubrication to get the system rolling and keep it going and basically betraying the rest of us. It's a betrayal of humanity. These people, Bezos, Trump, all these people. Elon's probably the worst of them. You think Elon runs 6 different companies, you're out of your fucking mind. And they're all nefarious. Like the Boring Company, like really, you're digging into the ground. Like, come on. There's underground bases all over this country, underground tunnel systems, dumbs, deep underground. And not only that, this shit's been there forever and just taken over again. Not even built by these people. I get so sidetracked, but it's just frustrating because I think everybody knows this shit, and we maybe it's the fluoride, but we just don't. We're like, yeah, what can you do? What are you gonna do? It's the way it is. Well, we could do a lot. We could do a lot. Right? I don't know. I don't think I'm that leader to pump everybody up and get us going, but. And even the leaders that pump everybody out and get them going, yeah, that's all false. Hitler is a complete actor. Now, all these people are actors. It's all planned. All of it. This is what you have to admire. I have to admire. The narrative that we are fed about who, what, where we are, our historical narrative, all of that, is so carefully constructed and detailed that is so well thought out. I mean, there's ways to figure out that's not. There's a lot of repeats, right? Especially with Wikipedia, especially with architecture. They repeat the same themes. But for the most part, most people don't see it. They don't see it because it's so contrived and well, I don't know. And you're just like, there's no way that's not real. There's no way. I think that, the shape of the earth, the shape of where we live is probably it's definitely one of the most important ones. Space. We landed on the moon. That's another big one too. But once those start falling, you start seeing it all for what it is. Which is what I knew. Back to what I was talking about earlier. I'm trying to get out. It's what I've always known. My gut has been telling me, and my gut is God. God is talking to me. God's in me, telling me. When I don't listen, my gut screaming at me. It doesn't end well. Every time in my life, my gut is the guiding force in my life. It's the intuition. It's the light of source. So it's been telling me my whole life that this is fake. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And that's about it. I mean, that's a depressing place to end up. And I've gone through massive depressing points in my life regarding that. But the reality is that I'm not depressed anymore. Yeah, I mean, fear is involved too. They want you in a constant state of fear. And I still struggle with fear. My fear, I would say, is mostly related. The fear that comes up in my life now mostly has to do with my son, right? If this car is shot in front of me right now, knock on wood, and I flipped over and died in a car accident. Knock on wood, I'm not gonna let it. Right now, my life enemy, and you got that last moment. I think about that last. What are your thoughts go through your head as you pass the physical realm here? I've lived a couple lives. It feels like I've lived. I've been loved. I've enjoyed. I've been happiness. I've been sadness. I've been desperate. I've been elated. I've been celebrated. I've lived a good life, and I wish that for my son as well. I'll probably do a video with him tomorrow. We're gonna go to Peace River and do a little fossil. And I want him to be. But when I really think about it too, would I take away all the difficult things in my life? No, of course not. You can't. First of all, you can't. I think, I mean, it's a simple argument that how would you know what good is if you don't see bad or, I mean, life is not that simple and cut and dry, but you know what I'm saying. I think that he's going to live the life he lives. And so then my fear starts going away. And he's got his own path. And I can share with him my wisdom, if you want to call it, or the way I look at things. But he might look at things totally differently. And go through the same things I went through, the desperation and the, happiness and the love and the loss. I just don't. I see so much. I see some lives and some life paths here, for whatever reason, are just filled with suffering. And I haven't escaped suffering, obviously, but I think it's a frame of mind as well. Like I think it was, what's his name? The Russian guy with Stolich. I don't know. The guy living in in Russia. Stalin, Lenin did their thing. He was put in, jail in Siberia or something like that. He's sitting there, desperate, basically rotting away, starving to death, and he realized you can't get you in your mind, your consciousness in your mind, and it's your frame of mind and how you look at things. And can you be happy in a jail cell rotting away and starving to death? I don't know about happy, but you can find acceptance and get relief from your situation and suffering in that regard. Anyway, love and light to you all, and if you made it this far, God bless you. I almost deleted this channel. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it. I think I need to focus on some more rock videos. So my next videos are going to be rock videos. I'll show you my display case, and we'll do a little video to Peace River with my son tomorrow. All right? God bless you. Everything's okay. No, this is not the way things are supposed to be here, but that's okay too. There's a lot of things you can do here to make it pretty awesome. And there's so much beauty here. There's so much beauty, and that's what the rocks are about to me. Beauty, aesthetics. I don't know why I started. Like I just look at them and it's like I traveled to another world inside the rock. Silly and stupid as that sounds. All right.